This tank is a t342gft. This is a Chinese Tier 7 tank destroyer, and the map is steppes. I like this style of tank destroyer, which is made popular by the Soviet line of tank destroyers. And it's similar to some of the American tank destroyers, and maybe lesser so some of the other countries. But I like it because it's got a nice slope armor. Some of them have really nice guns. They tend to be pretty fast. I like playing them. So I definitely recommend going down this tank destroyer line if you like tank destroyers. I'm going to show you a sniping position. Now, this is the beginning of the game, and what I do is I come to monitor this middle row in case any light tanks come through there. After waiting for a period of time, I decided I was going to stop waiting, and now I'm going to go to the sniping position that I'm going to show you for this video. Basically, the situation is I'm in the Philippines, and I have a high ping time, so it's difficult to play a fast-moving game. I like to play light tanks, but it's very difficult with the fast action with the high ping time. So when I have problems with my internet connection, I play tank destroyers or SPG, and I sit in the back and I snipe. So if I lose the connection, I'm not going to get killed or anything like that. If you watch my videos, you know I like to play on the front lines. I like to be in front of my allies. I like to play a leadership role, scouting around and doing all the dirty work. So over here, you're going to notice that there's a bush in front of me. And because of that bush, you can sit way in the back and snipe at enemy tanks. I put the high explosive rounds on because I'm going to see the tops of their turrets, and the AP is just going to ricochet off the turret, but the HE is going to do some damage, although half as much as an AP round. If I want to spot, I can move forward, spot, and then pull back to shoot. You can see there's a tank. I just barely missed that tank. It was a good opportunity. Another thing about this position is that more than one tank can definitely sit here. So you can see that I'm getting bored. I noticed that my allies were not in a spotting position, so I decided to pull forward to see if I could spot something. One of the other good things about this position is you can fire from the bush and then hide behind the rock immediately. This is very good if you have a derp gun. So I did 241 damage with an HE round against that tank. And I got 132 spotting damage. So I'm going to talk a little bit about spotting damage. If more than one tank is spotting the tank, there's people that say you only get half the spotting damage. It's not true. It's shared among all the tanks that are spotting. So if there's 2 tanks spotting, you're going to get 30%, etc. And another thing about spotting is that you might spot a tank, but if the tank fires his gun, everybody's going to spot him. So you really only get that spotting damage if he hasn't fired his gun yet. Once he fires his gun, all the other tanks in range are going to see him. So you lose that spotting damage. And then what happens is tanks are going to be shooting tanks that they're self-spotting. So sometimes you don't get the spotting damage that you deserve. Now, there's obviously an IS behind that bush, and I could easily fire some random shots. The shot hit the ground, so I know that there's probably not a tank in that spot right there. Maybe I'll give it another shot. There he is. If you're within 1 meter of an enemy tank and you fire a higher explosive round, then you're likely to do some damage, although it might not be a lot. Score 6-6. I've got a total of 241 damage and 132 spotting damage. It looks like we're going to be winding down this spotting position because my team is winning on the west side. And the IS is out of the game. So obviously I'm going to relocate to another position. But that's the end of this particular sniping position. So let's move on to the next video.